Good morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. Happy Grandfather's Day. Happy Father Figures Day. Happy Positive Role Models Day. Happy anyone who cares about people, anyone, anywhere, whether they're children or children inside. Happy day to you, and thank you. I'm Melissa Francic, and I'll be your celebrant this morning. I have been a part of the Unitarian Church for about 6.5 years already, which is pretty amazing. I'd love to extend a special welcome to all of those who are joining us for the very first time. We're very glad you are here. If you've come in person, you should have received a welcome packet with an information card in it. If you fill that out and drop it off in the offering basket, we'll be in touch to support you in finding your way into our community. If you are joining us online, there's a link to our website on an electronic version of that same card. Our welcoming committee members who have yellow name tags. Anyone in here? Yay, thank you, Donna. And can answer any questions or point you toward additional information. Whether you are new or not, please consider staying after service for our coffee and conversation, either downstairs in our fellowship hall or in our Zoom room. And now, let's say our words of welcome together. Whether this is your first or your 1,000th Sunday with us, and whether you strolled, rolled, zoomed, ran, or danced in, we are glad you chose to join us. We are one people of many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders. All are welcome here. Now, we will take a moment to say hello across the technical divide. First, we're going to show the people joining us on Zoom. If you are at home, please turn on your camera. Now, there's lots of cameras not on, but if you'd like to, please turn on your camera. And now, people at home, wave. Yay, there they are. Now, people who are attending the service in our building, it's your turn to wave. And now, thank you, everybody. We do have a couple of announcements. Okay. The first is that Sojourners Alliance, which is a local nonprofit that works to prevent homelessness and poverty, and which we UUs have supported for a long time, is holding a Father's Day breakfast today till 12:30 p.m. at the 1912 Center. The price is $15. Children under 5 are free. Potato egg casseroles on the menu, along with muffins, fruit salad, orange juice, coffee, and tea. The second announcement is that the membership committee is organizing a potluck this Saturday, June 24th at 5:30 p.m. in the fellowship hall downstairs. Visit with old friends and make new ones. Bring a dish to share. This is an adult-only event, and there will be child care available by advance, requesting to Ginger Yoder. And I believe Joe has an announcement.
Well, I'm going to announce that.
He's going to announce that later. So I'll keep you in suspense. Okay. Here end these announcements. And now we preface our service by acknowledging that our church was built on the ancestral homelands of the Nimipu, called Nez Perce by the French-speaking traders, the Palouse, and the Chichenets, called the Coeur d'Alene. Let us pause and remember that we live on ground that is sacred, ground that was stolen, ground that cries out for justice and for responsible stewardship. May our remembering help us find the courage to do our part to restore wholeness to the earth and all of her peoples. We are hoping that folks joining us on Zoom have a chalice or a candle to light and something to light it with. Thank you, Peggy. Let us light our chalices together.
I had trouble with that one too.
That's why we asked her to do it, because we did it wrong. Teamwork.
And persistence.
And now, let's say our words together. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek and seek to share.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me through there? Try again?
Turning it off.
How does this turn on and off?
I think it might have been on low.
Hello?
Good morning. My name is Joe Palin, and I'm not the celebrant, I'm the other person. I don't know what that's called. Service leader. Thank you, Melissa. I'm your service leader today. My announcement is that when you came in, there was some index cards that were handed out with a pencil. And I invite you to join the service anytime you feel inspired to read a haiku. I'm not going to stop the service at any time to allow us to write here together because a haiku happens in the moment. So anytime you feel inspired, write one, and if you feel inspired to, there's a box in the back corner, a little box to put your haiku in. If a haiku doesn't come to you today, you're welcome to take your card with you and write a haiku during the week and come back and drop that off. What I'd like to do, if we get enough haiku, is to actually post these on our website. So we'll have a haiku page of haiku that the congregations have written. If you'd like your name in there, put your name on the paper. If you don't, you can put your name on the paper and leave it alone until you need to put your name or not put your name at all. Thank you. For this morning's opening words, I would like to share with you a couple of quotes that struck me as I began to study haiku. And haiku. When growing up, I spent much of my time playing in the backyard. It was here I grew fondness for nature. It was a safe place, and it was otherwise to me for the world. It was an innocent and intimate place. As I grew up, I kind of disappeared, and maybe never got all of that. It wasn't until a few years ago that I found this began to reemerge. And I began with a project, a photography project I did titled A Winter Color Series. I posted it on Facebook, pictures I took on walks within a walk around my home. After that series, I began to study haiku, and I came across the following quotes that express this intimacy that has become kind of a daily practice for me. That kind of is a daily practice for me. Poetry return to nature, to our nature, to reach through and to guide all things. Of these three, the first is the most difficult for modern man, to go back to the unreasoning, superstitious past, to feel as an animal or a plant feels, or a rich belief. It is hard to even begin to gauge how much the complication of possessions, the notions of me and mine, stand between us and the true, clear, liberated way of seeing the world. To live lightly on the earth, to be aware and alive, to be free of egotism, to be in contact with plants and animals, starts with concrete acts. Gary Snyder. Ancient temple. The snake slips off his rolling scales. Issa. We will now sing an opening hymn, Oneness of Everything. And we're going to begin with all the scales.
to engage in the practice of generosity together. For those of you able to make a financial contribution, the logistics are on your screen. We typically give away all of the cash from our Sunday offerings to local charities whose missions align with our values, a program called Month of Sundays. This month, the recipient is Food Not Bombs, whose mission is to support local food needs. To donate, please indicate Month of Sundays on your check or from the online drop-down menu. In the spirit of love and for the continuing work of this church, we will now take some time to practice generosity together.
Though we will soon share joys and sorrows in our personal lives, I want to take just a moment to light a candle of broader concern, formerly known as our special candle for peace. Today, I light it for those Today, I light it for those in the face of tragedy and disaster. We affirm the sacredness of life. In the face of violence, we recommit to the work of creating peace. And in the face of our nation's epidemic of gun violence, we insist that our children's lives and well-being are important enough to reinstate the ban on assault weapons and at least consider other common-sense gun control measures. So breathe with me. Breathe in anger, the pain, the sorrow. Breathe out love. Breathe out peace. I invite Melissa, a member of our pastoral care team, forward to lead the lighting of candles of joys and sorrow. Today's meditation will be in 3 parts. First, a series I titled The Moon, of seasonal photographs accompanied by haiku. Then that'll be followed by a moment of silence and a haiku song. I don't know the words to this, but I'll give it a shot here. So please take a moment and relax. Put your feet on the ground, take a few breaths, and enjoy. Swipe of a brush, droplets of moonlight, spring rain. In a low clouds gap floats an edge of a mountain, quarter of a moon. Dusting, a winter flower, a hazy moon. Through the window, leaping and hopping, a moon shadow. It's kind of fun to watch yourself drink water. It's kind of weird watching yourself also. So why haiku? I've never felt I've had a command of the English language. My mother was an immigrant from Lithuania who spoke English part of the time and Lithuanian part of the time, and sometimes mixing them together. I even remember, this was in the United States, so even when I traveled with my mom to Lithuania in '96, somebody would say something in Lithuanian, and I'd say, "What'd they say, Mom?" And she'd answer me half in English, half in Lithuanian, and I was left wondering kind of what they said, but not quite everything. So I've struggled to express myself when asked, about my art, like what does a painting mean, or what does a photograph mean? Drawing and painting or photographs come pretty easy to me, but to describe these in words has always been a challenge. About 3 years ago, I began to look for ways to express my art in words. And I continued, after the winter color series, I continued to take photos on walks within a mile of my home, and I still do this today, walking to work, wherever I am. It just, something just strikes me, I really can't explain it, and I shoot a photograph. Anyway, as I continued that after the winter color series, it was about the same time I came across a video by Natalie Goldberg, I think out of the Upaya Zen Center, about haiku, and I fell in love with haiku. And I was intrigued at the idea of trying to include these three simple lines with the photographs I take. There are some who say, after some web searching, I found there are some who say photograph is itself a wordless haiku. So I asked myself, how does one write in words a wordless haiku similar to a photograph? The click of the shutter, a moment in time, a photograph. Three simple lines, a moment in time, a haiku. Writing a haiku in the sand, a wave finishes it. Forrester. This haiku by Forrester is what I find attractive in haiku. It is a moment in time, like the click of a shutter, a haiku. Is there a difference between taking a photograph and writing a haiku? Or are they one and the same? So I began to explore to write haiku. I started posting photo haiku combinations on a blog. I decided on a blog because I had stepped away from social media about that same time. And I'm not sure what possessed me to put these out on the blog, but I do have to note that I don't think I would have written 2 haiku a week for the last 3 years without it. It makes me do it, and it's been a wonderful practice. So it keeps me going. So what is a haiku? A haiku originated in the 17th century as an opening part of a larger Japanese poem called Orenga. These haiku were written as opening stanzas, were known as hoku, and over time they began to be written as standalone poems. Haiku was given its current name by the Japanese writer Masayoshi Shiki at the end of the 19th century. Haiku is traditionally written in 17 syllables, uses a seasonal reference, and employs the juxtaposition of 2 images to create an effect on the reader. Nowadays, the rules and principles are flexible. And a little more about syllables. In the paper I read about haiku syllable count comparing Japanese language to English, the author Hieko Umioka states, today, many bilingual poets and translators in the mainstream North America haiku scene agree that something in the vicinity of 11 English syllables is a suitable approximation of 17 Japanese syllables. In order to convey about the same amount of information, as well as the brevity and the fragmented quality found in Japanese haiku. When I first started to write haiku, I stuck with the 575 syllable count. And following this rule really helped me understand the workings of haiku, but I've since relaxed my syllable counting because I found myself kind of forcing in words maybe I didn't want in there. So sometimes I still write a 575, sometimes I end up pretty close to that 11, like 12 or 13 syllables. So here are some early examples from my blog of haiku using the 757 syllable count along with their photographs. Peeking between the leaves, I find two blooming orchids who catch me spying. The old tin building along the abandoned railroad mimics the winter sky. Wonderful ruckus, snow melts, flows, a babbling brook, two-year-old grandson. The first day of spring, bees hanging up in the garden, yellow sticky notes. During my study, I came across something I wasn't aware of, that there is a haiku that's not a haiku, it's called a senru. A senru was developed in Japan's early modern period. And during that period, there were two related cultural elements that took place. One, a form of humorous verse called senru that kept the 575 syllable count, but tended to eliminate most reference to nature. And the second was the changing world of Zen Buddhism, which at the time influenced haiku. Senru tends to be about human shortcomings and humorous, while haiku tends to be about nature and more serious. Unlike haiku, senru does not include kuriji, a cutting word, which is regarded as a requirement in a traditional haiku, and does not generally include kigo, a seasonal word or reference, also regarded as a requirement in traditional haiku. So now I want to share some examples of senru that I hope you enjoy. Here is an Episcopal senru. The choir rehearses, a soprano fails to curb her inner diva. The following haiku I'm going to share are from a book titled The Art of Haiku by Stephen Addis. And it didn't list the authors of these haiku, but these were all translated from Japanese. The first one is, the first couple are on love and romance. The second night, she sits 4 or 5 inches closer. Even herons, after 6 in the evening, fly 2 by 2. On umbrellas, going out angry, the umbrella opens too far. And senru can be about nature also. Sleeping in the snow, the bamboo is shaken awake by the morning sun. The following poems are by Richard Wright, and these are from a book called Haiku, The Last Poems of an American Icon, which I believe was written after he died. Richard Wright wrote thousands of haiku toward the end of his life on many different themes. And these couple I will share are I think like senru. With a twitchy nose, The dog reads a telegram on a wet tree trunk. Make up your mind, snail, halfway inside your house, halfway out. That one reminds me of a poem by Issa. Just as he is, he goes to bed and gets up, the snail. The next few I'll read are by Robert Babek, who was born in 1968, a Croatian poet. And he writes some very beautiful haiku. But he writes this pretty funny one to me. Back from the field, donkey farts in rhythm of its own footsteps. So because the service is on haiku, I'm going to share some more haiku here, and I'm going to switch gears from the senru to haiku. So these are haiku that are modern, I consider modern haiku, but do reflect the pre-modern, kind of traditional feeling of a pre-modern Japanese haiku. And again, I'm going to read some from Richard Wright first, and then some more by Robert Babek. The spring lingers on in the scent of a damp log rotting in the sun. A thin, mangy dog curls up to sleep in the dust of a moonlit road. That one's really, I see a lot of haiku, this juxtaposition of, I think haiku looks at truth, what is. And, here's a thin, mangy dog in a pile of dust, beautifully lit, on a moonlit road. It's a really beautiful haiku. Across the lake, past the black winter trees, faint sounds of a flute. Another beautiful haiku to me that mixes nature, the nature element and human element. By Robert Babek. The whole spring is here in these few flaps of your wings, white butterfly. In a snowdrift, a single blade of grass peers out of the snow. With bare feet only, a boy carrying the rain from room to room. Haiku has become a way for me to stay connected with the intimacy of life in this world, to bring that intimacy to my daily activities, tracking the problem with others at work or my volunteer work. There is much suffering in this world, suffering that we pray for as we begin our joys and concerns. Sometimes I feel the same for nature, that the trees, the bugs, the mountains too are suffering because of human activity. It is through the intimate moment of taking a photograph and composing a haiku that I stay connected with the natural world and brings this practice to my daily activities. Through photography, haiku, I hope to bring an awareness to the innocence and intimacy that takes place from moment to moment, wherever we are, both in nature and in human nature. To close out, I'd like to share some more photos in haiku. A distant bird song lies in the high-rise faint hum in a snowy field. I lower my gaze, looking down at the night, shade of a park bench. From the forest floor, a hole in the canopy finds a wild rose. Once again entangled on the patio drifting, evening clouds. Needles pierce a smoky fabric, summer rain. Please join together for our closing hymn for the beauty of the earth. Looks like it's number 21 on one of the hymnals. The words will also be up on the screen. Thank you, Alex. Please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this chalice that it might grow gently in our hearts. May it light our paths as we leave this place. May it guide our way until we are together again. I guess I skipped a part. Scroll down a little too far. So let's go ahead and, if it's okay to do that after embodying the flame, do our musical benediction, Dona Nobis Pacem. And I'm going to try to start us off unless somebody else really wants to try. I think it goes like this. Thank you, everyone. Just a reminder, if you wrote a haiku, to drop it in the box at the door, and that little box will be there all week into next week. So if you write a haiku during the week, feel free to come back and put it in there. And we'll see what we get, and if we get some haiku, I'll put them on the website to share with everyone. Please join us for fellowship downstairs. Thank you.